Going, guys, do a little something different today. So I got this new little puppy dog, and his name is Finn. He's a French bulldog. When I got him, he was 8 weeks old and he was really tiny, so he had this little cat collar going on. So he needs a new collar, and we're going to make him one out of leather today. So let's get started. So dog collars, I've never made one before, but they look pretty simple. These are all solid brass pieces that I use. I get them from Buckle Guy. This will be the buckle, obviously, and this is the part to hook the leash onto. This is 5 to 6 ounce leather. This is the same kind of leather I use to make, I use a heavier weight for my holsters. This is what I use to make the ammo pouches and stuff with. But it's nice and soft on the inside, so should be kind of comfy for him. I don't think I'm gonna line it or anything, but maybe in the future. Anyway, here's this one. We're gonna make a simple dog collar today. I measured his neck and it's 12 inches. So basically what I'm gonna do is square this off and cut it. And that's gonna be a buckle in. Then I'm gonna measure 12 inches, and that's gonna be the center hole, and I'm gonna do, or the first hole, and then I'm gonna do 3 more after that so he can grow into a little bit, and then we cut off the excess. So let's get started with that. Square up this line here. You see? Just like so. And then I'm gonna go cut this tip so it looks nice and neat. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have our blank. So what I did is I used my clicker press and I rounded off this edge to start with. Okay, so I folded this over to get a good measurement with the buckle, and I punched as you can see here, I use these kind of little punches, and it's called a slot punch. You punch a hole there. So this stuff you can get off Amazon for super cheap. I got a whole thing that does the round, and these, it's maybe 20 bucks. I've got these too that could do the same thing. These are a lot more expensive. I think these were closer to $100 a piece, but these are for more heavy duty stuff. But anyway, that's probably, what is that? That's not quite an inch, maybe like 3/4 inch or whatever. Plenty for this buckle. We got 2 holes, as you see here. So how it gets assembled is you do this, put that piece through there, whatever it's called. You can tell I'm not a belt maker. Okay, so now your buckle looks like this. This is gonna get folded over. And there is 2 sets of holes punched, because you'll put a rivet here, and then you'll put your D ring here, okay? And you put another rivet here. What I'm gonna do, you could use like the speed rivets, but since something like this is constantly gonna get pulled on by a dog, they pull pretty hard, you know? So I wanna use the heavy duty rivets with this, plus they look really nice and everything matches. You got a smooth side, then you're gonna have a rounded over side after we nip it. So I'm gonna put the already machined smooth side on the part where the dog goes, so I don't have to worry about if I didn't round off a burr good enough and it scratched him or anything like that. So you have this, rivets. We'll pretend like these are rivets right now, so they won't keep falling out. Okay, so that's pretty much the extent of it. Now you got to punch some holes. I measured 12 inches from the end of this buckle to this first hole right here, and then I poked 4 more holes. So you could do all this stuff with a set of Amazon punches. They're really cheap. Drive punches, hollow punches, they got a whole bunch of different names, but they're just little punches. I don't think I have one. This is like a set Okay, so this is what they look like if you get a set, and they're all different sizes. If you get like an Amazon set. And then these, you could get at Hobby Lobby, and you could screw the tips on and off, so it comes with a bunch of different sizes. These work better than these. So anyway, you could use that. I have a really nice rotary punch. You know, I make holsters for a living, so I buy the better tools, but you could do this with the simple tools. You could cut this with a razor knife. You could round the edges off with the razor knife. You could even do a square if you can't get the nice perfect circles and stuff like that. Then I have a template for belt holes, but you can just measure 1 inch apart and poke holes. So that's what I did. We got 4 spots for measurement here. For adjustment. So when the little puppy puts this on, it goes through here just like a normal belt. The first hole is the 12 inches, which is where he's at now. Goes through here, loops through that D, and there is one snazzy dog collar. Place for the leash, all that good stuff. You don't have too much dangling here, and he's got room to grow. So what I'm gonna do is, these are very square, sharp edges, and it would work just fine. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bevel and burnish those. So I have, this is a beveling tool. It's got a little fork on the end with a blade in there. And what you do is you run it along the edge, like so. Boom, bevel that edge, and then I'm gonna use some burnishing gum. This is Tokonol, works really good. Gum Tricanth works really good too. And I'm gonna burnish the edges. Alrighty then, so we have got the edges all burnished and nice and slick and squeaky there. So let's put this thing together. So here's your buckle. You see it can go either way, but let's focus here, focus. There's a flat spot right here, so that's gonna be the face like this. Okay, that's upside down. You can see the hook too. That's right side up. So feed it through here. Put your little prong through there. Okay, let's go ahead and we can set the first rivet. So remember, we're gonna do the flat part, like so, on the bottom here. At this anvil, this piece, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it does have a special name. There we go. Put one of those on there. You're gonna get this anvil setter. Rivet setter. And what you do, I'm not gonna pound this on camera because it's gonna shake the camera and look ridiculous, but see it's got a hole on the end here that you slide that rivet through. You hit the end of this with a hammer and it's gonna set that rivet down. Like so. So I don't have it set completely tight yet because I want to make sure everything gets adjusted right and all that good stuff. You could use Chicago screws with this too. You could use speed rivets. You could glue and stitch this and not use any rivets at all if you are so inclined. So now it's time to slide the D-ring on there. Make sure it's facing the right way. Nothing like putting all this stuff together and then finding out it's facing the wrong direction. Okay, so now this will be nice and tight. We're gonna put that second rivet right here, right through here, and cinch that bad boy down. So I got the rivets kind of loosely set on there. They're not cinched down or clipped or anything yet. So we're gonna do the test run, make sure everything fits. This is what the underside's gonna look like. Smooth rivets. So let's make sure I put everything together right. So here's your buckle. Okay, goes like this. Run this through, just like a regular belt. Put it through the hole, put it through the other side, and put the extra through that D right there. Rivets are in the way. Let me see. There we go, for show purposes. So yeah, I don't know, that looks like a dog collar to me. What do you guys think? Let me go ahead and cinch these down real quick. All right, so we got those cinched down tight. It's nice and smooth under here, nothing for it to catch on. These in between. What you do with these extra tags, you get you a pair of heavy duty cutters. Don't buy the cheap ones. These is about as cheap as I would go. Get you a set of these cutters and you nip it off as close as you can. And then on the other side of this rivet setter here, there's a dome piece. So what you do, again, I'm not going to hit it on camera, but what you do after it's clipped, you put that on there and hammer this and kind of go in a circle motion, and it'll round that edge off so it looks somewhat presentable. I am by no means a professional rivet setter. Some people can do these where they look like it was machine set. I'm not the one, but it'll look cool and it'll be functional. Okay, so your goal here in the end, although beauty is important, but your goal here in the end is to make this so it's wider than the hole that the rivet came through. So this plate cannot come loose and cannot back out. And it's not going to do that for sure. Does it look gorgeous? No, but like I said, I'm not a professional rivet smasher. So this side looks good, nice and smooth to the dog's skin. Got it trimmed up. And it goes through here and here. And you won't even see those pesky rivets. And there is a nice handsome collar for a handsome dog. We're gonna go put it on him and see if all this work was correct, or if I, mess it up and we're being goofy. Well, I bribed him with this bone so we could have him sit still. It's a little wide, but it fits good. And if he gets a little bit older, it'll probably fill out a little better. He probably needs like a 1/2 inch collar still because he's just a baby. He's just a baby. Right, Mr. Finn? Thanks for watching.